Hello, Earthlings and Aliens. It's me, Altea, your art buddy, and I'm here with another sketchbook tour. For Halloween, I put on press-on nails for the first time, and I actually can't draw with them, so the video that I was planning on doing today, which is pretty drawing intensive, I'm actually going to do it in like maybe 2 weeks, because one, I like these, and two, they're a pain. This is my first ever Moleskine sketchbook. This is from 2013, and ever since then, I've been keeping one of these like hardcover type, Moleskine look term sketchbooks ever since, usually going through them in about 3 months or so. So I have literally dozens and dozens of them at this point. But this was my first one. And let me set the scene for you. In 2013, I was still in college. I still thought that I was a cis straight girl. LOL. I had just discovered feminism. I was majoring in psychology because I thought that I was going to be a neuroscientist. And I didn't really know that I wanted to do art. And I especially didn't know what kind of art that I wanted to make. I was just kind of drawing on the side and gathering my thoughts. And this was around the time when I was like, art really matters to me, so maybe I should double major it. Maybe I should be thinking about pursuing art, but I had no idea. And so this is really exciting because it's basically showing you the beginning of my art journey. I mean, I was making art before that. I made a lot of art in high school, but I really wasn't taking it seriously. It was just kind of an outlet for me. And so this was like really the beginning of me starting to think about being an artist instead of just a person who makes art, as well as doing something very cool and sciency and STEM or whatever on top of it. I'm really excited to share this with you. This is a basic Moleskine sketchbook. You can see I was really obsessed with chubby cats at that point. And the sticker on the front also kind of ages it. This is from Static, which is now defunct blog by Stanford activists that was going on. I don't think it's around anymore. And let's get in here. So as I told you, I had just found out about feminism. I was really aggy about it. I mean, I still am, but I was like really like diving deep into it. A lot of this book is like really exploring those kinds of themes. Like I had just found the body positive movement. I just, really gotten into just understanding what feminism could be. And so there's a lot of things in here. I was really into octopi and also cross hatching and hatching. So I don't do this as much as I used to because back in college I didn't have an RSI. So I was doing a lot of cross hatching, and so as you'll see, my older sketchbooks usually have a lot more of it than I do now. And then I don't really know what this was. I have a lot of like these long-necked kind of animals and characters. I don't know what happened. I think I just like the shape. I don't know who this is supposed to be. Yeah, so see, here's another one of these like long-necked kind of characters, that these giraffe girls that have shown up in my art since college, and they show up really frequently all the way through college. I just kind of stopped drawing them at some point. I don't know why. You can't tell here, but this is actually drawn in ballpoint pen. I hadn't brought any Copic markers or anything to college. And a lot of these you'll see are unfinished. And I think that this is one of those signs of me being like not really sure about what I wanted to do, is that I really wasn't finishing anything. I would sit down, have an idea, put it out there, but then if I didn't finish it in that sitting, I never went back to it. I try not to do that anymore. This sketchbook is actually also pretty empty. I don't know what Lebius Words is, but you can see this is around the time when I found out who Nomi Chi was, and it's really funny to have this time capsule of when I found their work. They don't go by Nomi anymore, though. And this is a deer. I was also really into deer, and you can see more of that like hatching. This is at Dolores Park in San Francisco, and I didn't really know how to draw people from life. You can see that these are all super cartoony and like just faces. I wasn't even used to like life drawing at this point. Yeah, these are like, it's very strange looking at this being like, okay, I went to Dolores Park and I drew some people, and like I'm not convinced that these were people who were there even. Anyway, here's another one of those. Like, I guess this is like a series of like baby feminist art where I'm really getting into like the body and like, like there's nothing wrong with a pussy. So here's Octopussy. It's a squid. So do with that what you will. And here's some like fashion drawings, some like hair. I was really, really into drawing braids in pencil. More of this hatching style. You can see that the way that I draw people is like super different than I do now. They're more leaning into not quite realism, but definitely not as cartoony as I am now. Yeah, here's another unfinished work. I don't know what I was going to be putting in those balloons. I think I drew the balloons without thinking about it. And you can see here is another one of those like body positive themes where I'm like looking at body hair, but also a bear, I guess. Then here's another drawing, I guess, was about weight and, you know, having someone with a similar face who is both chubby and then is emaciated. I don't know what the message was here, but I think I was just working through some stuff. Here's another octopusy that's been subsumed by a drawing on the other side. I guess I liked this character, and I made, like, eyes and a face on it. The eyes are not where eyes on a squid or an octopus would be, so it looks kind of silly, but whatever. Yeah, so this was the first time I had bought Copic markers. So this was my, I guess, one of my first Copic drawings. You can see that it's pretty straightforward, like I haven't mixed any colors. It's like the lighter color and then a darker version of it, and it's really streaky because I'm not following the form of the figure as much, but it's really interesting. And I didn't do brush pen at this point. I didn't own a brush pen, so all of this stuff was done by hand, this line weight. It was such a revelation when I was shown brush pens. It's kind of fun that this is like a rotate your sketchbook kind of drawing though. Here's another giraffe girl. She's sad. I'm just like, I think that a lot of the things that I used to draw kind of almost had a story, but I didn't actually think consciously about it. It was just like a scene or a moment in my head. Here's an inexplicable scene for you. I really like this word balloon though, and I don't know, I feel like I want to keep drawing these girls again because they look so fun. Here's Cat Planet. Cat Planet was the name of my New Leaf town. So here's an unfinished drawing of what I guess would be Cat Planet with the tail as the orbit ring. But I love these cheeks. I need to draw more chubby cats. Oh great, here's here's Octopussy again, now with I guess penis squid, and it says love on it. That's pretty heteronormative, Altea. Why did you do that? But whatever. I don't know, like this huge belt that's very time capsule-y. Another panda. I have a feeling that I was watching Shirokuma Cafe because that's what's written here. I don't know what this character wants me to let them do. It just says let me, whatever. Here's some more giraffe girls. I think that at this point you can see that I'm really exaggerating the face, which is kind of fun. Like this nose is starting to get longer and flatter. And I'm doing this thing just like hatching along the skin, which is like a cute stylistic thing. I think that I kept that up for a really long time. I don't remember where I got it from though. It's kind of funny that they have freckles. It's a little bit of an e-girl look. Then we have Fun in the Sun. Tits is the nickname of one of my friends. I don't call her that anymore. But this is a pug having a lovely, wonderful day with these star Sneetches style, like Dr. Seuss looking palm trees on the beach. You can see I'm really into this like tattered ribbon thing. It's like the third time it showed up. I don't even know what to say about that. So let's move on. Then here's a spider, a spider woman, I guess. And it's really fun. You can see that I didn't go for the 6 arms. I went for 4 arms and 4 legs, and I kind of like that. It's a shame I didn't finish this because I think that this like dark fill-in hatching look is actually really interesting. And yeah, it's a little bit disappointing to see that I didn't finish any of my drawings, but it's not like I can't look down at myself. I was very, very busy at this point, and the fact that I was drawing it all was pretty incredible. I think this is supposed to be a French Bulldog who appears to be giving this Black Widow quite the look. Oh, hello, friend. So this is really interesting because this is the kind of art that I did in high school, which is like this really like chaotic spread of just like shapes and cute things. And I fused it with a character. I think this is really fun. And then there's these cats. Is this my first time using a brush pen? This looks like brush pen work. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so here's Cat Planet again. I made a little character for Cat Planet. This is Copic too, you can see because it bled. And it bled around the edges, which I've never really seen Copic do. We have an unfinished drawing of the same character. Just clearly trying to do a more dynamic pose than this one here, which is pigeon-toed and really cute. I'm actually pretty happy with how this pose looks. Like, the character actually looks like they're doing a pose, even if it's really silly and exaggerated. And this helmet kind of rules. Helmet's gone. Drawing's unfinished. Classic 2013 Altea. Oh, and then Shark Week. Oh, I love these drawings. Shark Week is like a euphemism for your period, I guess. And I think I took that somewhere with all of these like mouth. I'm surprised I didn't draw like a mouth pussy or something. Like, that seems more in tune with what I was doing at that point. And this reverse mermaid where it's just the head being like a hammerhead shark is really funny. I kind of love these. Here's another shark. But this time the shark is like, it's like they've put on a head, I guess. And there's this really interesting hatching style. This looks like it's the first time I've tried it because it looks a little bit everywhere, but it's really interesting. I wonder if I keep doing this. And more of these palm trees. I guess that was just how I do palm trees then. I don't remember having done that. Oh, and here's the ultimate Shark Week drawing. What do I even say? It looks like the rope is coming out of the pussy here. This character kind of looks alive, which is interesting because it's like an acrobatic feat. I'm assuming that this has to do with like tampons and like, I don't know, going to Universal Studios and seeing a giant shark hanging at the boardwalk or something. But it's fun. It's interesting. It's really edgy. Here's another edgy drawing. This says, I identify myself as multi-dimensional. I don't know what that means. And then I have this weird gory picture. It's very Junji Ito. You can see more of that like hair, that like really obsessive penciled hair that's there. I don't have anything to say. A lot of these I don't really have anything to say about because I don't remember drawing them, honestly. And I didn't look at this before I started recording, so you're really getting my first reaction to my old art here. It says Mary Coleman. I used to do this thing where every time somebody would come into class and give a talk, I would draw them and then write around it. These get better later in college. This, I think, is probably one of the first times. I can't read this. I was writing in cursive, apparently. But this is probably, I'm going to assume that this is a psychologist or something. This is a really cryptic, minimalistic drawing that just says a circle moth. I think this is supposed to be the moth, and then these are the circles. You know, I wish I had, like, some footnotes somewhere where I put why I drew everything that I did back then. Well, we don't have it. Spider's crawling in his ear. Great. So, you can see a bunch of, like, really stretchy animals. You can see more of those long neck type things. You can see some, like, grotesque body things. A lot of trying to draw faces. I guess I was working on this, like, style where the nose was really pronounced and upturned. It's actually pretty similar to my nose in real life, so I was probably just drawing that. And then these really sharp chins, and so there is still a lot of empty space, but I think it's really fun to see all of this hatching evolve over time. You can see how it's like shifted from like being really haphazard to actually having form and shape here. Right, and then here's a drawing. I think this is a portrait of myself. This is pretty similar to how I looked back then. I had bangs and long hair, and I would always wear these like dresses that were also button-ups. This doesn't really look like me, but I think that's what I was going for. And then here's a French Bulldog. I was really obsessed with Filipino noses and like the flat face kind of deal. So I'm wondering if this was some kind of comparison. I have a lot of these like squishy nose dogs in this sketchbook, and I really do genuinely like squishy nose dogs a lot. So that maybe I'm reading too much into it. And then this is not done. I think that's another drawing of me. And then I don't know who this is, but they have the same shape. They have the same face shape as me. So I wonder if it was supposed to be me or if I could literally only draw one face at that point. We'll never know. And it's kind of disappointing that it's not done. Here's me going and drawing out in the world again, I think. So this looks like maybe I was in a dorm room somewhere or in the like in one of the houses in like in the common living space or something, and I was drawing people. This one looks a lot more like I was actually looking at people and drawing them. There's one of these like classic lamps that everybody had back in 2013. Alrighty, so let's see. That night I saw the Big Dipper for the first time, and I listened to art that I'd previously learned to call political radicalism, and I realized that I'm not depressed anymore. This is inaccurate. I was super depressed, but I guess this was a really wonderful moment. I think I remember what this was. I had gone to a spoken word event and I was watching it and I was like, oh, I actually really connect to this. Like the people who were involved in spoken word were also really involved in Static and the Stanford activists and such. And so I think what was happening here was I went to one of those spoken word poetry events. I saw the Big Dipper and I had a really transformative moment. It didn't cure my depression, but I think that that's what happened here. Isn't that fun? Then here's an owl person, another one of those like long necked. You can see this like body shape that I was really obsessed with, and they have a cloaca, so that's exciting. And then, yeah, so this is clearly some kind of political art. You can see that this person's wearing a bikini. On one side, they're chubby. On the other side, they're emaciated, and they're standing in a bowl of salad. I feel like this is probably some real, like, anti-diet culture message. It's not very subtle, but it is kind of cute. And I have a corgi at the beach with flip-flops that look like butts. That's cute. Yeah, I love squishy dogs. Look at this fur texture. This fur texture is really fun. Way to go, 2013, Altea. Okay, here's something very similar to that bear and to the shark from earlier. It's an alligator. I don't know why it's an alligator other than probably this part seemed cool to me. There's some more of this hatching. It's really, really fun to watch this hatching develop. And then we have this character who you can see is pretty typical of the kind of character I was drawing at the time. I don't know what this is. I'm so sad that I didn't finish all of my art. Hey everybody, finish your art, because in 7 years when you're looking back at it, you'll wish you'd finished it, I guess. Oh, these are fun. I actually do remember drawing these. I think I was in class, and I had drawn these, and I was like, I'll think of what they're saying later. But I think that it's pretty clear that this is the same character twice, with a pretty classic, like, headband look. A couple things that I'm noticing are this hair. This hair is so fun. Like, all of these different drawings that I was doing were just adding texture without necessarily, like, thinking about shading and all of that. It's very graphic, and, man, like, I really genuinely like that. Munchie! Chubby cat. This is definitely brush pen. So I think at this point I had gotten a brush pen. I just wasn't using it particularly much. This is from Shirokuma Cafe, which is an anime I think that came out around then. A polar bear that owns a cafe, and his friend is a cute panda who's kind of an idiot. Yeah, so I think that's what this is from. That's where all these pandas are coming from. This negative space panda face is really fun. And I like how these, like, the eye spots are really evocative of that facial expression. This is nice. Another one of those bear things. This one's a sun bear, which is my favorite, ugliest, most wonderful bear. I really, really identify with them. They kind of have that ugly pug face too. And this, like, cowl thing is happening again. I don't know why, but I think it's really fun to see this motif. Clearly, I had a motif. Then here's a turtle with grass on its back. I guess it's very similar to the world turtle, judging based on the kind of hands, the legs on this turtle. I'm assuming that it's like a softshell turtle or something, but this face is very tortoise-like. Who knows what I was thinking of. Oh, and this is fun. So this is another unfinished drawing that has a lot of potential. So it's clearly like a skeleton and a zombie who are, I guess, tied together, or maybe this is one of those ribbon things. I was going to say something on it, but they're like clearly about to smooch, but their heads are very different sizes. So this is fun. Oh, man, I wish I'd finished these drawings. Here's a jellyfish. I did a painting series about jellyfish and global warming, like, maybe the year after this, and so I think this is probably one of the first times that I was, like, really looking at this intricate kind of floof. And you can see, like, the stylistic way that I've handled this floof is very, very typical of this time. I'm gonna call this the weird texture era. Oh, and here's a little bunny girl. little bunny girl with mismatched size arms, very similar to the character with the red headband that we saw earlier. I actually erased the sketch lines on this one, so that's exciting. And I think that I think I was really trying to figure out fabric with this one or poses. Like, this is nice. I do actually like this one. It's a shame I didn't draw anything on the other side. And on this side we have another stretched proportions kind of giraffe neck person, but they're also, I guess, a ballerina or something that's doing a bow. And then this is, oh man, does anybody else remember these like super appropriative textured loose pants? Because I had a whole bunch of them. And this really interesting like gradient through hatching tank top. I did wear a lot of these like open like muscle tees at that point. So this is probably just an outfit. I mean, it looks like how I drew myself then, but there's no way to know because I had some really clear same face syndrome, as in same face as my face. And then, oh yeah, yeah, I was going to hookah bars a lot in college. Don't smoke tobacco, kids. Yeah, and then here's another one of those. This is the same top as the bunny. So I'm wondering if I owned a top like that, or I saw a top like that and was obsessed with it. But this like really fun swirly with this like hair. Incredible, wonderful. This is like a skull and vertebra. I think it might be an antelope or something. These vertebrae are really, really out of proportion, but it does look pretty cool. And this is very clearly, these are very clearly brush pens. So I was definitely using brush pen at this point. Oh, and here's like a satyr. This one looks pretty like gender neutral, which is exciting. Thank you for starting to think about that. 2013, I'll tell you. We have some more of those spots. This is brush pen again. I'm like, you can see I'm not using brush pen for the outline. I'm just using it to fill in space. It's just kind of a waste, but makes sense as like the first few things that I would be doing because outlines are really hard. Right on the other side of your sketchbook page. Alrighty. Stitches. Stitches is an Animal Crossing character, but he's a bear, so I don't know. I guess this was like probably something edgier. And then this cute like octopus shark person. This is adorable. Look at these eyelashes with the little like baubles at the end and these tiny like eyebrows, and it's got like a double chin and it's like squishy. Why didn't you finish this drawing? It's so cute. Right. You will never ever ever dictate your gender expression. Isn't that a Taylor Swift song? We'll never ever ever get back together. So I think that yeah, I think that I was like taking that. Look at this disproportionate sized head, but you can see this brush pen coming into the outline. I just mentioned that I didn't. And Bob is my boyfriend. This is clearly a drawing of my boyfriend. He's a watermelon eating snake in a sweater. It's kind of funny. Righty, and then a drawing that's not finished. I don't know who this is. I don't know what this is. I don't know where their hand went, but alas. I know this drawing is based on a picture of me. This was my profile picture for a while. I had bangs and I was thinking about growing them out, and so I started wearing headbands to pull the bangs back, and that picture was particularly cute. I took it at SF Pride. Yeah, this is definitely a drawing of that. I think this is supposed to be Bob again. I'm not very good at drawing people. Like, where did this neck go? Where's these shoulders? I don't know. This is probably why I didn't finish it. And then there's this like fun something. This is look at the cake on this thing. It's so good. Like, look at this this like pose. Why did I do this? And this textured hair, I can't even comment on it. This is really good. I like how I drew the feet and hands here. This is so funny. Alrighty. Oh, I remember these. So this says, "Stop policing my body, revolutionary babyface." I definitely was super babyface at this point. There's the flower crown, and see these textured braids again, and that top. This is it's so funny how this is basically a compilation of everything stylistically I was doing. This like speech balloon that's like conforming around the character, but is like kind of behind them. This like ribbon. This is so typical. I was never really into Gothic Lolita, like the cutesy side of Gothic Lolita, so I am perplexed as to why I drew this. It's clearly one of those. But there's this fun gradient and the Copic markers, and I actually like drew the skin in a way that like isn't just layering on the The color, like you can see, this is less streaky. I was figuring it out, right? Like, these were probably all the colors I had. This in, like, the warm colors that you saw earlier. Because I mentioned in a different video, but I don't buy all my Copics in a big set. I just buy them one at a time. And so I guess at this point I had gradually accumulated this many. This color palette is really cute. I haven't really done a blue and navy look like this in a while. Maybe I'll think about it. Oh, and here's that character again. Say, just because I'm a girl doesn't mean you can call me baby. Okay, that's definitely it. It's like that revolutionary baby face idea. It's really funny how much, like, one of these, like, cutesy e-girl looks this is. I wonder if, like, that fashion was around or if I'm, like, some kind of oracle who guessed that it would happen. We'll never know, because I didn't write it down. Oh, and another giraffe girl. This one's really, you can see how long and stretched out this neck is. Like, the bangs definitely work, the long hair works, the arms and hands have become stretched out. Oh, they have these ears. I don't remember if they had the ears. This is great. This is fantastic. Yeah, this is wonderful. Alrighty, and then we have this drawing. You can see that I'm using the brush pen. I don't really have the line weight difference down. I didn't erase this. I feel like I didn't like it. You can I feel like you can sense that I don't like this very much aura coming off of this drawing. So I'll leave it be. And then here's some more of that super pencil-y, not pencil, I mean, it's in ballpoint pen, but like the same kind of hair texture where I'm just following it and being really detailed with it. A pretty typical face. And then, oh, on this last page, my friend Kathy drew this. I used to do a thing where I would ask somebody to draw on the very last page of my sketchbook. It would be either a friend, or sometimes I would go to signings and ask the person who was doing the signing to draw on the last page of my sketchbook. But this is by my friend Kathy, who's a fantastic artist, and this is Fiona and Cake from the gender-bent version of Adventure Time, which I think had probably just come out, sitting with like a cat wearing a dress. I don't know who this is, but this little teacup. Kathy, this is so cute. Oh, and oh man, I have more static stickers in here. What a throwback. Why do I have like 4 of them? Yeah, Stanford Static. This website's down, so it doesn't go anywhere, but this is very cute. Alrighty. Well, that was a really fun trip down memory lane. I hope you had as much fun as I did. I hadn't looked at this in a really long time, and it's so interesting to see, you know, things that were starting to brew, like real evidence of what I was interested in, things that I didn't take with me, a lot of the things that truly I just wasn't doing. I was clearly trying out here, but then didn't end up keeping, like this textured hair here. It's so interesting, and I just never drew it again. But then you see some characters like those giraffe girls. I hope that you enjoyed this as much as I did. I thought it was really illuminating. And yeah, thank you so much. All right, bye.